All right, welcome back to the channel. We're on to our next project. I had installed this TV behind me. I had an install video for it and I don't know what I did with the footage, so you're probably not going to see that. But the problem that I'm having right now is that I have this wire here that runs down here on the extension cord and plugs into the outlet. I don't like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the TV back down off the mount and we're going to install an outlet somewhere right in here. But in order to do that, we're going to have to wire it from the garage. So I'm going to take you through that and hopefully it'll work out good. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to measure where we want this outlet to come out. Now, I don't mind where it is as long as it's of course hidden by the TV, and I certainly don't want to drill into this bracket. And I also got to consider the dimensions on the inside of the garage of where I want that pipe going through the wall, that it doesn't hinder anything in the shop that I'm have hanging up or anything like that. So I think our best bet is to first measure from the outside of the block. We want to measure all the way to somewhere under the TV. Now I do know that the TV comes down 9.5 inches under this bracket. So we got to hit it somewhere in there. So let's measure down 9.5, and we're going to just make a little mark right on the wall. Sorry about the echo when I move the chairs and everything. It seems to echo under here a little bit. So we're going to make a mark. That's approximately where the bottom of the TV is going to be, right at 9.5. Oops, that was 10.5. Got to make sure. Measure twice. 9.5 inches under the bracket is where we're at. Okay, so let's measure from the wall, because I can tell from the inside of the garage wall about how far it's going to be from the edge. So if we go here and we just measure over, the center of the TV is right at 78 inches. Now we want to come up at least 4 foot. But probably a little bit higher, because right at 4 foot is not going to work out for us. So we're going to be between 4 foot and 4 foot 9 inches. So we're going to make sure that we place it on the inside, and we're going to drill from the garage out with a small bit first, and then we're going to go to the larger bit that the pipe will fit through, and then we'll take a grinder and cut the hole for the junction box. Okay, we're back here in the shop and I'm going to show you how we're going to put the wiring together for this. We're going to have to find a place to start it. So I figured the best bet that we would have would be to come out of this outlet right here. And then what we can do is take a 90 out of here and run it across the wall. And I think it's going to end up right behind these levels here. Okay, so we'll use some, I have all the parts that I'm going to need. Here's the 90 that's going to go through the wall right behind the levels there. I have a junction box that's made for outdoor use. And I have a GFI outlet we're going to use. And here's all the other parts that we're going to need. Connectors, all that kind of stuff. This is an indoor box. We're not going to use that. And I don't know what all this is called. But anyway, I parted it all out, and then we have some galvanized piping here, and we're going to do the same type of thing as we got right here to add that outlet I did a long time ago. So we're just going to take it out of that outlet, bring it all the way over here, go through the concrete wall out to the patio. Okay, so in the shop we've moved all the saws out of the way so we could get at the wall. And we've run into just a slight little problem. We can't be anywhere above this mark on the wall. And our 90, if we put it in there, it comes right up to it. So the box, we're gonna have to try and get the box below that line. Of course, over in the center here, at where we're gonna put the hole through the wall. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to cut a little bit a piece off this 90, but you can't really go too much So it'll mount in there right about there. And we can't go too much because once you go too far, it starts to curve. And you want to keep the up and down straight, or else it's not going to be parallel along my wall. It's going to put it in the wrong spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit of this off, and then we're going to punch out the top here, and we're going to connect the 90, and we're going to run our piping over to our spot. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to secure the 90 into the vise here so we can go ahead and cut it. I don't want to squeeze it too tight because we don't want to bend it. So we're going to use the angle grinder. I have my safety glasses on. I don't like using the cutoff wheel. It's not one of the more fun things to do. I am going to get out an extension cord because I just want a bunch of slack. And we'll need it for the drill anyway when we drill through the concrete wall. So while we've still got the electric on over here, we'll make use of it. Really don't like using the cutoff blade, but I don't have a choice right now. It certainly does make light work of things. It cuts right through it just like butter, of course. So now that we've got that cut, we're gonna shut off the power, and we're gonna take this outlet apart, punch our hole, put our 90 in. Okay, we actually don't have to shut off the power yet. We're just gonna take the plate off, and I know everything's wire nutted in here because I had this plate off. It's wired correctly. So we're gonna just take our plate off, and we'll punch that hole. And we're just going to be really careful not to, of course, touch any wires. Yeah, we got plenty of room in here. And we're going to punch this hole out. Hopefully I'm not going to have to move those clamps. I think I'm going to have enough room. Put all our parts over there. Just going to take an old screwdriver and a hammer and see if we can pop that out. There she goes. Nice and easy. A little bit of paint on there. Get a pair of pliers. Using all those pliers, and we're just gonna take out the blank, clean that out a little bit. And then what we are gonna do is we're gonna install one of these, and this nut actually comes off, and we'll put it through the box, tighten it down, and then we can put our piping in there. Through the box. We'll put that in. And I'm going to tighten that down, and we're going to take a piece of this pipe, secure it in the vise, and we're going to double check our measurement. 31.5. So we're going to measure out here. 31. Oops. $31.5 right there. we're going to plug in over here because that outlet's torn or taken apart. And what we're going to do, safety goggles, and we're going to cut this pipe. And that is the one reason I don't like the cutoff wheel on these grinders. It caught it a little funny and it broke it. So we're just going to have to replace that and put another one in and cut this pipe. We did not break the blade that time. That's why you always want to have safety goggles on, stand out of the way. That disc, when it broke, flew towards the camera, but on the other side of the camera there's nothing that can be hurt and nobody's standing there. Of course, if I had a cameraman, that wouldn't have been good. I'm using a tripod. So right now we're not level at all, of course, because it's just kind of hanging there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and level that off, mark it, and then we'll mark where our hole wants to be. So we're going to grab the level, and we're just going to get her up there, and we're going to make her nice and level. Very good. We're level right there. And it looks like our hole is going to go right there. Still nice and level. She looks level there, even with this pipe. Let me just check and make sure this pipe is basically level. I didn't put this in, of course. It's a little off. It's a little off level, but that's okay. We're going to put our pipe in level. So, again, we've got where our hole wants to be is right there. And we're going to take all this back apart and we'll feed the wire through after we get everything else done. The junction box in, and we should be good to go. Damage. So here we go. Okay, we got through one end and we're going to go through the next. I'm not going to push too hard. I don't want to blow out too much. And we are completely through. That worked out well. Okay, so as you can see, it blew out a big portion of the stucco, but we should be okay with that. What we're going to do is go ahead and we'll fill that back in. It's really not a big deal. We can fill it back in and paint it. Plus, we're going to cut a lot of it out anyway. But we're good to go. It looks good, came through nice and clean, and that's kind of why I wanted to go with the smaller one. But we'll be all right. We'll fix it up. It'll look like brand new. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to chisel the hole a little bit bigger to fit the 90 through there. And in fact, I'm going to have to fit a compression fitting in there also. This one right here. Unscrew this. So this is the size we're going to have to fit through there. Shouldn't be too big of a deal to hopefully chisel that out. All right, so here we got everything loose fitted and we are through the wall. And now we need to go to the other side and cut the hole for the junction box. So I've marked off where the junction box is going to go. So we're going to use the angle grinder with a concrete blade in it. And we're going to score as much as we can, get as deep as we can, and then we'll chisel out the rest. It should go pretty smooth. We're going to have to use the headlamp because it got dark. So I'll get the headlamp on and we'll see what we can do. pretty dusty, but that should be it for the dust, hopefully. And I'm gonna chisel this out now. Hopefully we'll be able to get it out. Go grab the chisels. All right, that's gonna do it. Okay, so we've made it pretty far. Our box is all set in place where we want it. It looks good. It's gonna be flush. We're gonna fill this in with stucco. But right now we're gonna wire. We're gonna thread our wire through. We're gonna go the black and the white through because the green here is not, we're gonna do the ground to the box because the piping in this house is the ground, but I will hook a ground wire from the receptacle to the box, so we got a good ground. And we're just gonna, it's going straight out into the garage because I took the plate off the 90 so that we can get this as much wire as we can in there. I think it's hitting the workbench. I don't think we'll need more than that, and we'll feed the wire through and then we'll tighten everything down. So let's go inside and see if that's enough wire. Okay, and it looks like we've got plenty of wire on the inside here. I gotta stretch it out a little bit. See, I told you we took this plate off. So what we're gonna do is kind of just feed it right through the piping, and we get the wire through, then we can tighten all this inside stuff down. I think it's gonna go right through. Push this back through, I don't need as much. So push it back outside. There we go. All right, and we're gonna go put on the outside receptacle, of course, before we wire this up. Okay, so I'm putting on some pre-mixed stucco to just fill up where that blowout was. It really wasn't too bad though. Once we got the box in there, we're gonna put that on there. Just kind of want to make it look like the rest of the stucco, but I want it even with the box because I don't want the faceplate to be sticking out too bad. I will put some caulk around there probably. Okay, so we got the ground wire all hooked up, and what we're gonna do is wire the outlet now. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Now all we have to do is wire the inside and put the faceplate on. I'll probably put a sealant around the faceplate just to make it extra moisture resistant, and it is a weather resistant receptacle, and we'll go inside and wire it up. Of course, none of this project would be possible without, you guessed it, King Lou. Okay, day 2 on the electrical outlet. The stucco dried. I painted it this morning. Seems like it's nice and dry, the paint. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go inside and we're gonna wire it to get power to it. We're gonna test it, and then we're gonna put the outlet cover on here and silicone around it probably. So I'll get inside, get this wired. Okay, so last night I put wire nuts on the new wires that we had in there, and I didn't connect it, but I wanted to put this junction box back together. So we're going to take this junction box back apart. The power has been turned off. And what we're going to do is double check our power to make sure we have nothing hot in here. Nothing. So we're good to go. And we're going to go ahead and take off the wire nuts. We're not going to need them. They were just to keep them away from the power. I like to be extra safe with electric. And we're going to strip just a little bit off the neutral and a little bit off the hot, and we're going to seat it right in there behind the metal plate. Fits perfectly. And we're going to go ahead and tighten it right down. Go nice and snug. Make sure that's nice and snug. So that is the neutral side done. Okay, so now we're back outside and we're going to hit the reset switch here to make sure on the GFI that it's working, and we got the green light there, so that looks good. But what we're going to do is check to make sure it's wired correctly, and I have the 2 amber lights, so that means we're good to go. It was wired correctly from the inside and we have power there. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to put our cover on, just like that. One side's in. And the other side is in. So we should be good to go. And what I'm gonna do is just put a little silicone. This is the unbreakable covers that are great for a situation like this because the stucco, of course, is bumpy around there. So what we're gonna do is just seal it up a little bit with some silicone or some caulking here, and it goes on white, but it's actually clear. So when it dries, it's gonna be clear. It will come down both sides, and we're gonna wipe off the excess with your finger in 1 second. Simple as that. You have a paper towel handy so you can wipe it off your finger as you go. And like I said, it looks white right now, but it is gonna come out all clear when it's done. As you can see, it's all hooked up, no more wire. Looks great. Another project done. We'll be on to the next one shortly. Make sure you like and subscribe, and God bless.